Okay, now I'm going to show you more functionality about pivot tables. Last query that I did was a list of customers along with the number of orders of each customer. Okay, then I'm going to go back to the database model. This is the database model, if you remember. I'm in the PowerPivot menu, and here I can see all the different tables that are in the database. Okay, and then here I can see the diagram view where all the entities, basically the tables, are accommodated in terms of resources, events, and agents. But you can put basically the order that you want. But this is very strongly recommended to always put the entities in the order of the resource, event, and agent model. Okay, then I'm gonna click data view. Then I can be changing from data view to diagram view. But here I'm gonna add a new column for one table. In this case, for a table of order details. If you see here, if I want to calculate basically the subtotal of every, if you remember this table has this every row contains data of one specific order or invoice. And if I want to see the specific product that we're sold in every invoice, I gotta go to the order details table. That is a relationship table that has the details about the number of products sold. For example, this factura, this invoice, the 10248, has 3 different products sold. This is the unit price, the quantity, and the discount amount in decimals. Then I need to know the subtotal, that is basically the multiplication of unit price times quantity and subtracting the discount. Then how do I calculate this column? This is very similar to an Excel, but here what I gotta do is just click in this part and click equal, and here I'm gonna start using the DAX language for functions in PowerPivot. That is the name DAX or DAX. That is the name of the language for doing calculations. Then here I'm just gonna click in the unit price, and automatically it's gonna be put the name of the column, and then I'm multiply this times quantity, and then I'm gonna multiply this one times 1 minus the discount. Okay, I'm gonna type enter, and then now I'm gonna have the basic subtotal. This is the amount that I need to do further calculations and further pivot tables about sales data. Then I'm gonna just change the name of the column because it gives you one specific name. I'm gonna put it subtotal. Okay, and now I have a calculated column. Now what's a calculated column in a database model in PowerPivot? This is basically this column is not physically stored in the database or in this table. It's a column that is going to be always calculated on the fly every time the database is going to be open. Then this information, this column, is calculated on the fly. Okay, but the good functionality is that I can now see this new calculated column in my database model when I want to be working in the pivot tables. For example, here they are detailed. Now I can see the subtotal. Okay, I'm going to show you something. Let's go and modify this, or maybe I want to add more. I'm going to add more data. In this case, I have the number of orders for every customer. Now, something that will be very valuable is going to be the subtotal, to know the total amount of sales. Okay, total amount of sales for every customer. In this case, it is giving me automatically the sum. That's correct. Okay, and if you see now, I can see the customer, and then now I can see the amount of the total amount of sales. That is the sum of the subtotal field and the number of orders. And here I can just sort. If I want to see the best customer, I can just sort it by the largest to the smallest, and then I'm going to see the best customer in terms of sales for all the periods that I have in my database. Now this is one functionality that I wanted to show, these calculated columns. Okay, now another very nice functionality is basically to include here. You can play with different pivot tables according to the data that you need, but I'm going to show you how to do slicers to filter the information. Once you are in the pivot table, you just type the analyze button, and here you're gonna see insert slicer or insertar segmentación de datos in Spanish, and here you're gonna type this one, and then you will see all the options about all the tables along with every column or field of every table, and you can include any field as a filter or as a slicer. For example, that might be a good idea to put, for example, the country where you are sending the product, just to see the sales by country. You can include this one as a filter. Now you can see the same report by country, and now this is going to be a dynamic pivot tables, right? And this is called a slicer. Okay, and that now you can see this all the sales for all the countries, and you can click and start seeing the specific sales by country. Okay, and you can select Control click to mark 2 countries, and then you're gonna see the data by the sales, all the customers, and the corresponding sale, the corresponding number of orders for Argentina and for Brazil. Okay, and now you can keep adding more slicers if you want. For example, if I want to add another one that might be in this case can be, I want to select another one here, analyze, insert a slicer. I can add, for example, categories. Okay, category of products to see the same information, but now adding the category name. And now this is like in this slicer, you can see all the sales by customers, but by specific category of products. I can click all the beverage products that has been sold in Brazil and Argentina, and the customers sorted by the total amount of sale. Okay, then I can just take this out, and I can something that is here. I can keep playing with the data and see all the sales by a specific number of products. I can select with the Control click. I can select more than one type of product and more than one type of country. Okay, here I selected US and Mexico, and these 3 different category names. Okay, another nice functionality is adding a graph. Okay, then in this case I'm gonna add a graph that is gonna be I can just click recommended charts here, and I can add any type of graph that I want. I'm gonna just create a traditional bar chart. In this case, it's not a very good idea to include in the same graph 2 columns or 2 values that have totally different range. Okay, because in this case I want to see more the sum of the sales more than the count of the orders, because this is much more smaller values. Okay, but here you can play with different graphs and different information. Okay, and in the same way, when I change the information, then the graph is going to move automatically. Okay, then I can include more than one graph for one pivot table, right, and more than one slicer for one pivot table. Okay, I'm going to stop here.